guys, this is Jake Symbol ASMR. This will be my reaction to the Silent Hill announcements that came out yesterday. 4 games and a movie. Insane. Obviously this is a whispered ASMR, a ramble, but it's about a reaction video. This is not like a standard reaction video, so if ASMR annoys you, go somewhere else. I am so excited, and I want to say, like, up front, I'm so excited that they finally are making new, what looks to be very interesting Silent Hill games. We've been waiting 10 years, and I want it to be clear because I'm a person who I critically examine things, and I'm not always 100% positive or negative. That's how you should be. You should think, so I don't really want to argue about any of this, but I do really want to discuss it in the comments. I really want your opinions. I mean, our opinions can differ. I just don't want, I don't know, the fighting and stuff that happens sometimes. This is my personal Reddit, and I get to choose how you behave. No, I'm a really nice guy, and I would really love to speak to you about this in the comments. Obviously, leave a thumbs up. If I give you the tingles, or if you like my opinions, and if you're new here, if you happen to like ASMR and you're a Silent Hill fan, you like horror, I have a lot of spooky story readings and a lot of Silent Hill content. I have some Let's Plays and Silent Hill roleplay and some stuff like that, so hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna start out with probably the most talked about thing that has been announced, which is the Silent Hill 2 remake. I'll leave my opinions for the end. Let's go. Okay. We got a cockroach. Very nice looking. Very dingy. Very cinematic. I have mixed feelings on that, but not being a hater. Okay. James's hands look really nice. They're trembling. I gotta say, James looks much more. Love that sweat looks pretty good. His jaw, he looks like Leon Kennedy from the RE2 remake. The mirror scene is... There's something about Bloober's graphics that they're not deep, or they're a little cartoony to me in Bloober Team games. But this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. No notes. Perfect. This looks really nice. I gotta say, the voice acting is great too. We've only heard someone stomping around in my apartment. We only hear Mary's and James's voice, but I like James's voice actor. I was gonna say James just seems much more like he's going through it. He hasn't shaved, like he's got some stubble. He doesn't sound quite as soft as the original James, but he sounds, stressed and sad. He doesn't sound super masculine. He has a deep voice, but you know what I mean. This is really pretty. I thought him in that room falling down was really beautiful. And then this is a little dramatic. It's interesting to me that it's raining out at this part, because there was no rain going on at that part in the original. But yeah, the rusty textures and this great drama. I think it looks like they did a great job with that dramatic moment. And just to jump back to that combat, I don't know. So here we've got, I think this is Lakeview, or Rose Water Park. Pyramid Head. I don't know about that Pyramid Head. And yeah, beautiful card. Mary, I love the face model for Mary. Very different from the original, but she just looks like, she looks so Mary. Like, you know, it can be a totally different face, but it still embodies the character. So, things I didn't get to, I know I spoke very fast through that. I have some, I think I pointed out everything I love. There were things that kind of bugged me, like, I think there is warm, and these are gonna sound like nitpicks, but Silent Hill 2 had such an inimitable, specific vision that, like, you know, if they can't perfectly recreate it, they should at least, I don't know, I thought the lighting was too warm at parts, like, especially in the apartments. I think it's the lack of the grain filter, and also I feel like subtly the tone of the light is a little too, like, bright and warm. The scene where he's attacking the nurses, one, I don't know if it's just the graphical fidelity, but the nurses look too clean to me. Like, the original, the nurses are dirty and they do not have big breasts, and you know, these sound like little things, but I've become bugged by the image of Silent Hill, the nurses being one of, like, the mascots, as it were. The nurses from the movie that were very, like, big-breasted and sexualized and stuff. I went back and played the second game a couple times, like, last year, and I realized, like, the nurses aren't that curvy. Like, they aren't that, I mean, they are, like, obviously sexualized, but they're not sexy in any way. I don't know, I think that there's things to watch out for in the creature design and the graphics overall. My complaint about Pyramid Head just in that last shot is, I think, just my general complaint about Bloober Team's the graphics in their games. There's a lack of some kind of depth in things. Like, that one looked, the textures, the lighting, there's something that Bloober Team can't get right to me. Like, James looks a little cartoony to me. And I mean, again, this sounds like nitpicking, but the original game, part of what makes it brilliant is the texture and the lighting, very, very specifically done. You know, and it's something you could easily mess up, and then the whole tone gets thrown off. So, you can tell how big a fan I am of this. This is ASMR, so I think I'm doing it for the ramble. My overall read on this is I'm happy it's happening. I think that it will be no secret to any new player that there is an original of this game that is a classic and a masterpiece. So I'm for it, whatever. I wish it were not Bloober Team making it. I don't think Bloober Team is up to this task, and the creative input I'm seeing from, you know, Konami, and from the original team is, I know Masahiro Ito, the visual, I think he was the art director of the second game, and at least the creature designer, that involvement, and then Akira Yamaoka doing the soundtrack. I wish that there were a more, like, this is a AAA, this is an enormous title. You know, I think that maybe it needs to be treated as an enormous title. All of Bloober Team's games in the past, I think, so people are very critical of them, and even even then, I think they're very overrated. Like, I think that Bloober Team is kind of shallow. I think they're perfectly competent and they do very interesting things with visuals. They can write a totally passable horror story, but Silent Hill is a game that where it all connects at the root in such a profound and well-realized way, and I've never seen Bloober Team pull something off like that. I think that they don't have the depth of skill and creativity to really make this happen and stand up to the original. Very long-winded, but so my like wish is that someone else were making it, but overall I'm happy it's being made. It looks really pretty, at least in a superficial way. One little thing I wanted to complain about is the gazebo in Rosewater Park. It's kind of like you saw the paint peeling and stuff. In the original Silent Hill, there was a bit of dilapidation everywhere, a lot of fences, whatever. But I remember Rosewater Park was very clean, and it kind of served as like a sanctuary in the town. Like, it was a very well taken care of park in comparison to kind of some of the cruddiness in the rest of the town. There's very little to go off of. I think the bigger point I am getting at is that I really hope that they're being very thoughtful about how they render the town of Silent Hill in terms of visuals, and because again it has been kind of stripped of its depth. That might be a mixed metaphor with post 2006 with the movie and stuff, where it's just like, ooh, a creepy abandoned, dilapidated town. Whereas I think in the first 3 games at least, they were it wasn't just like a spooky ghost town, like more rubble, more dilapidation equals scarier, where there was a point to it. Okay, now on to a very interesting one, which I'm excited to look at. Silent Hill Townfall, being made by No Code, who make some pretty awesome, simple but awesome games like Observation and why am I blanking? I'm literally playing that game right now, Stories Untold. If nothing else, I think this game will be scary, so let's check it out. Okay, we've got like the static, the waves crashing on the shore. I don't even know what that could mean. So this is silent, but the guy's saying you're here to be punished. That's good, I like it. You know what, I think you're right. So it's not done something so awful. You're stuck here in this place, so there's this theme of sin and punishment. What interests me is for you, I think it's more than that. I think you're here for some other reason. I need to go through and look at all these images that were on that little screen, but the red, the color red and everything, I think that I really like what what little we see here. It's a cool take on the radios. It's a little portable television. That's interesting. The monologue, it's maybe gonna be kind of annoying, but if you're here, I'm sure you've watched these on your own, but because I can't have the audio on because it's ASMR, but that little monologue, I was a little bit like, because it's again, I think people have kind of run with this trite interpretation of Silent Hill being this town where sinners go to get punished, or where they're, where it's simply like, oh, your subconscious fears come to life and you're, But it's, but so it kind of sets that up in the monologue in the beginning, and then he says, but I think you're here for something else. That's cool. And I'm thinking that sounds like kind of a extension on the typical interpretation of Silent Hill. Like, you're not just here to get punished. We're not, you, maybe the protagonist, is here for a reason. The images I saw on the screen, like a fleshy monster thing, maybe a nurse, looked like a map of the town popped up real quick. There's some kind of maybe news reporter, the television static and stuff. So, I mean, television static is a cool kind of under-discussed visual motif of definitely of the first 4 games, and then I think all the other games. But in the first, in the second game, you find that dead guy in front of his static TV, and I don't know, it's cool. I really like that they're reviving and kind of centering that motif of the television. Silent Hill, I don't think, is a seaside town, so I'm very interested what it could be a large lake. Yeah, it could be Toluca Lake. The waves crashing on the shore. I am, unlike Bloober Team, I really like what No Code has created. And to be honest, I like what Bloober Team has created, but it's kind of mid. But No Code has made some simple, relatively puzzle-focused, very atmospheric, very scary. I think that they're up to the task of making a Silent Hill game, and because they don't have the weight of Silent Hill 2 on their shoulders, I think that they have less weight on their shoulders. So I'm just very excited at the motifs they teased in this game. That's what I love about all the games except the remake, is that they're new. Like, they aren't trying to recreate anything. My worry is that the remake is gonna try to create something that the remake is gonna be pointless, basically, is my worry. It's like, why did you think that you deserved to do this? Or that, like, why did you think that you needed to make this, when it comes to Bloober Team? I was coming into this wanting new things. I think that, it's probably not gonna be like a AAA, with deep combat, kind of thing. I think they might have said that they're learning. They might actually have combat, because I think No Code might have said that they've had to expand the team to program combat and stuff. But yeah. Anything you noticed in the announcement, the stream or the transmission they did, the No Code team said to go back and look for anything you missed. So, like, I'm guessing there's little Easter eggs and details. So if you guys noticed anything you find fascinating, let me know in the comments. Okay, the featurette on the new movie, going into this movie thing, my general opinion before we look at the actual content is, like, why not? I would really love there to be a actual good Silent Hill movie someday. I'm gonna, like, play it safe and not expect this to be, but the original movie is a terrible movie. I still like it. You know what I mean? I think that what they nailed in the original movie is the visuals, and if they can get similar cinematography in this one, it's gonna be a real treat. The original movie is absolutely beautiful visually. My opinion, in short, is just that it's very loud and blunt, and it actually is not very faithful to the story of the game. I don't care about faithfulness, I care about capturing the spirit and having in it just being a good film. But I thought it was very shallow, and the dialogue is atrocious, and there's completely unnecessary plot lines, and parts of it are boring, and it's just kind of demented. I don't know. That's my opinion on the original movie. This one has the same director and producer. I'm very excited for it. Just letting you know, again, I'm not being a hater. I'm gonna go see it, no, regardless of, you know, how it turns out. But yeah, let's just check it out, what we got for this next installment. I'm very excited. Christoph Gans coming back after all these years. I think that Christoph Gans could make a good movie. So, but anyway, let's get into the actual, you know, content. Okay. So we start with this shot of Sharon from the original about to sleepwalk into this hell. That's what I'm talking about. It's really cool and beautiful, and it's like if I hadn't played the game, I would love it more on its own terms. I love his accent. 15 years ago, Silent Hill 2. He's an adorable man. So it sounds like he's adapting Silent Hill 2. The text on the screen, that's really cool. I hope that they use that text for like the credits and title shit. Here's what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful movie. Okay, this Silent Hill 2, so I love that storyboard. I'm so excited seeing the storyboards in this video. I'm really excited that there's like already storyboarding and concept art and stuff like that. Looks like he's coming in on a small route. I like that the sign is behind this small road. That's really cool. It's like it was in the game. Okay, yeah, and it looks like he encounters Eddie there. We're gonna get to see a movie version of Eddie. And it looks like a cool shot. See, these shots are so Silent Hill. These like angles. I remember the original Christoph, you know, they nailed the camera angles. They nailed it. And that's what I'm saying. I think Christoph Gans is very talented. Maybe just not so much as a writer, but I think he just gets the camera angles and the visuals in Silent Hill. Brookhaven, again, you can see in this art, I think on the Brookhaven hospital it said like pan up, and so there's like camera angles like in that. There we've got Maria. The James guy looks a little bit like grungy. And then here's one of the things, so this is cool, that hospital looks, or if it's a hospital I guess, looks really awesome because it looks modern, like it looks like one of those 5-store complexes you'd find. But the hospital beds all over the parking lot is that kind of extraness, that loudness, extravagance that I think the movie introduced that kind of spoiled it. Not by this fan, but whatever. Um, yeah, why does there need to be stretchers all over the place? Just have the hospital. That's what makes Silent Hill scary, is this looks cool, this lobby. Again, I mean, I think in its own right, it's cool. Like, this is very kind of Baroque, like, I think that probably the lobby of the hotel or something. It reminds me of The Shining, so. Sorry, he's just such a cute man. Again, like, it's really cool. Like, look at that monster, that janitor they came up with. It's just, like, not scary, and it's not Silent Hill, but beautiful. Redesign. So he's talking about Pyramid Head. And Pyramid Head is very loud and fast and violent, I think, in the original. I like though that Christoph Gans, like, I like the guy a lot. And I like that, look, I like that they put KFC on the drawing. And that looks like he's gonna go into that tunnel and encounter the monster there, so that's cool. Yeah, no, I think I like that Christoph Gans is thinking about this stuff though. Like, he isn't, he's thinking about what would make it good. And he thinks a lot about all the elements of filmmaking. That Pyramid Head, like, looks very tense. This looks cool. That lying figure, the fences and the darkness, that looks great. Now, I'm wondering, like, because Silent Hill 2 doesn't have a very prominent otherworld, like, it doesn't have the big rusty, dark, extravagant underworld of the other games, if this movie will, like, because, like, I really like the scenes I'm seeing in the concept art where it's kind of real world, whereas most of Silent Hill 2 is in the real world, or the fog world. But, and he keeps saying this stuff about, like, having to make it modern, like, everything has changed. I wonder what he means by that. Like, what does he mean? Does he mean it's going to be a modern setting? Does he mean that he's just thinking about, like, what has changed in terms of filmmaking and what audiences want? I don't know. So you can see I had a lot of criticisms, but I am very excited for this. And if Christoph Gans makes, if this ends up being a bad movie like the first one, I think I will still have a good time, like, with the first one. It's the first one is such an interesting movie to me because I hate it, but I like it. My thing is, I don't like bad. I mostly don't go for corny movies. I feel like if I hadn't played the games, I would have loved Silent Hill as a corny visual feast. It's almost like it's almost surreal, like how stupid the dialogue and story are, versus how gorgeous the visuals and the sound and everything are. If nothing else, I'm getting another one of those. I also think in the first one, so Christoph Gans, his mind when he was creating the first one, he took the story, but he made something. It's true at at a superficial level. It's the same story as the first game, but it's really not. And so I'm assuming that he's gonna, like, make a totally different version of the second game's story. I'm curious to see what that is. It probably will end up being kind of, shallow is the word I keep using, kind of like how the first game was, like unsubtle. Or first movie was like unsubtle, but nonetheless, like I can't wait. I can't wait to see a film version of Eddie, and hopefully Angela, my favorite. So that's that on that. Okay, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one because like it's just not, it's the least interesting to me, but you know, it looks cool. Might not be my thing, it might be kind of bad, but like I'm just so happy that they're putting out this much Silent Hill content at once. So let's go. Silent Hill Ascension. So we've got live, like a sort of camera, you know, streaming theme, which is cool. It's modern. I hear it. Is it after Amina? Oh shit, can we save her? Run. So the chat is cool, and I like how those things are written. That creature. Need you now. Yeah, that creature does. This looks kind of like castle and dungeony, and like a, you know, like a big religious, I don't know, priest or wizard or something. Like, doesn't look like super Silent Hill to me, but like whatever. Genvid, I think that behavior made Dead by Daylight, so this is, yeah, they've got like the peeling. I gotta hand it to Christoph Gans and the whole team, the whole visual team of the first movie. That peeling that was introduced in the film, that Silent Hill never peeled away into the other world, and like it is definitely stuck. Very cool visual motif, but very not Silent. It's not what makes the game good. It drowns out what makes the games good. Nonetheless, looks neat. I'll probably play it. I mean, so this looks to me like Resident Evil recently had Reverse, and I forget the name of that other online game, but it's, you know, Resident Evil has its own Dead by Daylight type. I forget what the name of that genre is, like, asymmetrical online multiplayer games. This looks like that. I mean, you might as well view it the way that I would view a spin-off, you know. Cool project. Again, it's just putting more Silent Hill out there, and I'm down for it. I was watching a video earlier today. Also, before I get into that, I gotta say, I think this will be the first successful, like, social Silent Hill game experience. It reminds me of Book of Memories, and I was watching a video today about Book of Memories. I think that Book of Memories was like, they wanted it to be a social experience with like online multiplayer and stuff, but I think the marketing of Book of Memory was like, they insisted on talking about it as if it were a mainline Silent Hill game. And I was just thinking, like, and the main critique was like, why not just treat this as a spin-off? Like, you're using the IP, you're making a dungeon crawler with some, you know, thematic elements of Silent Hill. I think that I'm totally down with. I think that it would be amazing if they could capture some of the atmosphere, some of the subtlety of Silent Hill, of what makes Silent Hill great with this online thing, while also introducing modern elements, you know, expanding and coming up with new ideas. I guess I just don't want, like, just a, you know, a fruit salad of tropes. Like, I didn't like that monster, but whatever, we'll see. We'll see. Again, I am least excited for this one, but could totally be wrong about what it is. I guess I can connect the chat, the live stream element. Reminds me of that, like the TV and the radio tropes, you know, media, visual and audio media. So it could be very cool, like in Townfall, Silent Hill Townfall, they've got the portable television and stuff, and maybe they'll do the live stream format in a really interesting way. Okay, finally, I am going to react to to me, hands down, the most exciting and fascinating one here. I'm not gonna preface this one. I'm gonna resist my urge to ramble, and I'm just gonna get going. Let's put on, this is called Silent Hill F, as in fuck. This looks cool. Okay. Rural Japan. Porcelain doll, I think. You know, you've got a teenage girl, very Heather vibes. I'm like culturally ignorant, so is that like a grave or maybe it's a religious thing? Please let me know in the comments. Should do my research. This spreading redness reminds me of the janitor spreading that stuff on the wall in the movie, and it has the vague, vibe of rust and viscera and blood. The colors, I think visually this one is the most creative, and I just think the artists behind this, whatever they're doing, I trust it. This beautiful mass of flora, this trypophobia thing they got going on, that skin, that porcelain type skin. It's, it's just so crazy because it looks like gore and infection and blood, stuff you'd associate with the other games, but it's flowers, and then the peeling face, and then inside it looks like a carnivorous plant. Okay, and you can't hear it. Again, it's an ASMR video, but it plays this gorgeous rendition of the original Silent Hill theme. Ryukishio 7 is a visual novelist, and Kara, I looked up Kara's work on Twitter. They have a Twitter, and they're doing creature design. They're a brilliant artist, and they draw a lot of really, really cool, scary things. So, okay, Silent Hill F. I have nothing but good things to say about this one, and I am so excited. I have no idea what it has to do with Silent Hill, but I trust, it's a Silent Hill title. This is what I wanted. I don't know how major of a release this one will be. I don't know if it'll be given a big budget and get the whole AAA treatment, a huge, huge promo campaign, and, intricate game mechanics and things like that, but we don't need that. We need, I think that it can be simple. I think that I go back. If I don't appreciate a simple game, then I can't appreciate the first 4 Silent Hill games, which were simple due to, the generation of gaming it was, but I just want some good solid gameplay, and whatever that is, it's scary, and it is gorgeous, and it clearly has some really profound thought behind it. If I know that there are tropes from Japanese horror in it, but the visual motif of the flowers and the plants being such a central horror, and this like thing that we haven't. So Silent Hill is a beautiful, it's funny because it's this always been known as this conjunction of beauty and grotesqueness and whatever, but the grotesqueness is beautiful in a grotesque way, whereas I feel like beauty in this is grotesque in a beautiful way, if you know what I mean. Like, the plants are these evil, they're like infectious, they're malicious. You've got the trypophobia, which I think trypophobia is related to disease and toxicity. I think, like, deep in our primal brains, that's what trypophobia is about. It's about disease and toxicity, and this is very much that. Disease has always been a trope, obviously, in the Silent Hill games. There's a hospital in all of them, most of them. So to sum it up, to reel it in, I love Resident Evil 7 because I started playing it, and if I weren't told it was Resident Evil, I would have no idea, but I would have a feeling the whole time that it was Resident Evil. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, that game is such a departure from all the previous games, but the heart of it is there, They went back to basics, and they swept off, or they chipped off all the coats of paint, all the superficial motifs that had been associated with it, and had become tropes and almost cliches, and they made something fresh. And that's what I see here. That's what I think is going on here, and that's what I find most exciting in Silent Hill F. I think from seeing these two artists work, Ryuki Shio7 and Kara, I think that they are very trustworthy artists to have a really good take on this series. And yeah, so that was a long video. I think if you're a fan of me, you knew I'm a fan of Silent Hill. Yeah, and I hope that if you hadn't watched the trailers already, you go ahead and do that. And again, tell me what you think in the comments. I mean, I'm really easy at brushing off people's anger and condescension, so if I do really tick you off, just go ahead and tell me, I'll see what you're saying. I'll try and see what you're saying and understand that your anger is just a passion. Just, both of us, if we get angry or whatever, it's just our passion showing through, and we can engage with, what's at the heart of that passion. Again, thanks so much, everyone. Now, final words, I'll address the fact that I have not uploaded in months. I have not been very active. I say this now every time I upload a video, which was about once a month, a little less than once a month for a while. I've got a lot going on. I haven't forgotten about this channel. I have executive dysfunction, and when I have other stress going on, this is the last thing I want to do is sit down and make a video. And also, it connects. Doing this has a weird connection to my self-esteem, where I think when I'm making a video, for some reason it just shows, I don't know, it's complicated, but it is my goal to never stop making ASMR. At this time, when I make something, I want it to be special and good and worth watching. I don't want to just crank out content. I know that it would be good to crank out good content, but I kind of don't feel that I could just upload for the sake of uploading and make something good, worth watching each time. I will do my best to get back into a regular weekly upload schedule, but I'm not going away. I really, really appreciate when I upload again and someone comes back and says they're still waiting for me to upload and stuff. I really care about you. It doesn't mean I don't care about you. I really, really do appreciate the people that I have started to recognize in my comments, I notice you, I do, I see you, and I care about you. People are so sweet, you guys are so sweet. I used to watch content creators and think oh, he's he's full of shit. Like, he's just saying that so that his fans will come back and think they love him. But it's true. You guys are really sweet people, and it really means a lot to me when when something of mine does something for you, that you let me know, and trust me, I heard you, and I take it to heart, and it means a lot to me. I will say one thing, is that I am not romantically or sexually interested whatsoever in anyone who comments on my video. I like compliments. I appreciate compliments. You might be really cute too, you know, you might be total dating material, whatever, but I just like, I know when people are trying too hard to, I don't know, like they think I'm gonna be their boyfriend or something. Just come at me with pure intentions, without ulterior motives. Compliment sandwich. I love you guys. You guys are lovely, and when you comment, I see you, I recognize you, and it means just as much to me. It means probably more to me to hear from you than my work means to you, even if it means something to you. So, I didn't mean to go on that long of a talk, but yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I just talk so much. It's been such a long time since I made a video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Good night, little symbols.